Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gimme the Check podcast. I am your host, Fredy V. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is special. This episode is near and dear to my heart. My next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a Grammy-nominated artist. She released her debut solo album, Sur la Voie Ensoleillée, in 2014, I believe. And after that, she was on a groundbreaking album called Family Dinner Volume 1 by Snarky Puppy. After that experience, she became the lead singer of the group Bocante. And just recently, she released her second album called Higher. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the musical yin to my yang and one of my best friends in the world. And I'm so happy that you guys are going to be able to see us, chop it up, talk about the come up, and talk about what she's up to right now. So without further ado, the queen, the one and only, Malika Tirolien. Yeah, come on, girl. You better walk through that thing, girl. You better go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Coming up here all shy. That's not how you came to me this morning. No, you come. She's hi, how you doing? I'm just gonna walk in here. How you doing, love?
I'm super good.
Oh, my
so
God.
so happy to be here with you and talking with you, my brother.
This is kind of crazy, man. After what? How many years we rolled? Well, don't tell the people. Don't tell the people how many we rolled. But to be sitting here with you right now, like this is like, man, this is a crazy 360. This is crazy 360. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get the people in. I want to give our audience just like a glimpse into where you're from. You were born and raised in Guadeloupe.
Yes.
And, that's a very special place. I was blessed to go with you there in 2006, so I got a glimpse into like what your childhood was like. But I want you to tell us a little bit about your family, what it was growing up there, and just kind of the environment that you grew up in, because it's really special.
Well, as you said, I grew up in Guadeloupe, and especially in Marie-Galante, because Guadeloupe is an archipelago, and Marie-Galante is one of the islands, and it's called La Galette, because it's like super plat. I grew up in a really interesting and artistic family, and very tight family also, where arts were a big part of the day. Like my grandmother, she plays piano. My auntie, she plays piano. She plays like almost all instruments, to be honest, and she was a music teacher. My father is a multi-instrumentalist, but a self-taught, like very, very free spirit, very talented artist, And my grandfather was a poet. I have an auntie that was painting too. She was a painter. So the arts were always present. And to be able to grow up in such an environment was very rich. I feel very blessed to have been put in that environment, and music was all around, and all kinds of music too, because in Guadeloupe we have like the traditional music. We have Groka,
yeah.
that was very present. My father plays a lot of percussions, and a lot of his best friends too. So there was always like something happening in the house where you could hear some Groka and people singing, and just the whole the whole vibe, like at anniversaries or like any occasions, were always good to have music inside the house. But my father would listen to a lot of Bob Marley, a lot of jazz musicians also. And then my grandmother would be like listening to a lot of classical music. So there was like always this melting pot of music, and that made me just love music from all around the world and from different styles and cultures. And I feel very grateful for that.
Man, because that's exactly what I felt when I went there. And with my background being from Senegal and Cape Verde, those were some of the similarities. I got on the land and I was like, oh my God, like Marie Galante reminds me of Gore. The Groka drum, it has so many similarities to the djembe, and just all these things. And what really struck me and that I did not know about until I met you was the independent movement, the movement of independence. You know what I'm saying? That was in Guadeloupe, and I was like, oh damn, I didn't even know it was like that. And like your family was at the center of it, because us in Senegal, Léopold Senghor was the
Yes.
first president, and who was a great mind, and who was really ushered in the Black intellectual movement, how Africa was inspired by the civil rights movement that was going on in Black America, you know what I mean, and whatnot. And that's when it kind of came together of like, who your grandfather is, being Guy Tirolien, who was a poet and a thinker who really advanced the cause with Aimé Césaire, Léopold Senghor, and all of
Exactly.
these great minds in the 60s during the African independence movement. So, like, how does that affect you today, just knowing that you're kind of born from this, like stock of revolutionaries, you know what I'm saying? Like you come from this independence revolutionary background, and how does that affect you today in your music and your life and whatnot?
It totally affects me. It totally affects me. I wouldn't be aware of it growing up, like because it's just your family, it's just the people that are around you.
Right.
It's just like that. But now, having like moved out of the house and lived in different places and traveling, like around the world, I totally, as I'm getting older, I feel that roots, like that root, that revolutionary root, coming from my family. I feel it in my music. I feel it in the friends that I have. Also, I feel it all around. It's really something that is important to me. I realize it even with the artists that I like, the artists that I listen to the most. They all have like something to say about what is happening around the world. They all have like a political or social stance,
Right.
and I feel that this is really important to me, and I want my music to have the same impact on other people,
Amen.
and I know that it's coming from my family, and the fact that I've been raised to be an independent thinker. Like it's really something that is important. That it can sometimes be labeled as being rebellious,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's so important, like to just be able to identify how you feel and to not be ashamed of feeling the way you feel and to have your own ideas, even if sometimes you can be wrong, and time is gonna show it to you and you're still evolving, but to be able to stay like yourself, to be yourself, to be free as much as possible.
No doubt.
And yeah, that's a gift that I'm really grateful to have been given by my family.
No doubt. And to be able to express these thoughts and to express these emotions. And that's something else I appreciate about your family. Genre, salut, Papa Guy Tirolien, shout out le grand frère et toute la
Oh
famille
yeah.
Marie-Galante, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
J'arrive. But that's what it is, being able to express that. And there's such I see your family places an important on education, on
Yes.
knowledge, on
Yes.
writing, on
Yeah.
reading and whatnot. And I see that in your music. And like sometimes when you start flexing ta plume, as they say in French, and your penmanship, I'm like, woo, child, Malika is getting Jean-Paul Sartre. She going there, you know what I mean? Like, and it's cool. It's really cool to
Thank
see.
you.
And I'm sorry, I gotta tell this story, man. I gotta tell this story because that shit is funny. When Malika brought me to Guadeloupe in 2006, I sang backup for her in Marie-Galante, in her hometown.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
her return au Festival Terre de Blues. We opened for Steel Pulse, shawty, okay? Like, it was woo, yeah, that was a trip and a half. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I'll never forget when we arrived at the airport, and if some of y'all know that I have French citizenship as well too, and Guadeloupeans are French, so me and the band, that's what you do sometimes when you arrive to the country that you're a citizen of. You kind of like look at the rest of your band like second class citizens. It's like, yeah, you guys go with the foreigners, like we're back home.
my
You know, some of the guys was
God.
like, come with me, bro. You know, like we got this. So we're going through, yo. The shit was like a scene from Coming to America. Y'all remember the first Coming to America when they're in the basketball game and then it's the dude who's selling popcorn and then he rolls by Eddie Murphy, the king, and he's just like, Jaffe Dropasan. And that's what it was. The dude opened Malika's passport and was like, Malika Tirolien? Comme Guy Tirolien, Malika Tirolien? Après vous, madame. And it was a procession. And I was like, who is this heifer right now? I was like, where am I right now? Like, it was like the procession. Like, we passed the gates or whatever, but that was just a beautiful thing. And that's when it came to see. And I was like, yo, that totally reminds me of Senegal and those things. Were like my grandfather, because he really had God bless his heart. He was a big man back then, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And just all of those similarities and just see how your family has such an impact on that movement and the thing. So it's just like I just had to pick that up and send them so much love for that, man, and what they instilled in you.
Thank you so much. No, my grandfather was really, wow, a big man, as you said, and until now, his impact is still resonating to this day, you know, and. It's an amazing thing, and it's also a big pressure, you know, on the ones that come after.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. But hey, man, you know, like it's like Herbie told me, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So, you know, don't feel their pressure on top of us. We are standing on top of them, you know. So it's like that sometimes when you come from a line like that, it definitely feels a pressure. Anybody who kind of comes from those lines like that, but that's what they're there for. These are our mentors. These are people, whether they're your blood, you know, or these just people who adopted you. But yeah, man, and you're standing on his shoulders, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So, yo, okay. I want to know about like teenager Malika. Like getting into music, like becoming a fan of music. And like we've always talked about like how we came up and with especially with R&B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like soul music. And I'm always so interested about like what was playing like on the radio in Guadeloupe, or versus what you were listening to, versus what were the CDs you were buying, and like on Saturday afternoons with your girls when you did your hair and were singing with the brush and a microphone, what were those songs like? You know what I'm saying? So talk to me a little bit about like when you started really becoming a fan of like, not just like in the family, because you know, like me too, like my family was into it, you know, like I was like, my sister was playing Big Daddy Kane and like and Rakim and all these early things. Like, so it was part of my childhood. But like when I got into it, it was like Tribe Called Quest. Like, you know, that's when so talk to me about that moment where you started like flipping out on the culture, on R&B and music. Like, what were your first influences?
It was so diverse, you know. I was a big fan of Michael Jackson for sure. But then I really loved Nirvana, and I really loved like Busta Rhymes and LL Cool J.
Yeah.
And I was like so in love with Brownstone. I don't know if you remember Brownstone.
See, and that's what we're talking about, because it's just like people forget about Brownstone, but Brownstone is a big, like Brownstone was the shit. Don't
Brownstone
walk away,
was, oh
yo.
my God.
Woo.
Brownstone was,
No, yeah, they had records,
it
man.
was,
And
yeah.
they could sing, that was all
it was so good. And one of the singles was produced by Michael Jackson, I think.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, from Brownstone.
We here at Gimme the Check, we really like trivia like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like all the little like nerdy shit. I don't know Michael did for Brownstone.
Yeah. I think, I can't remember the song, but yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
I'll find it for you. And I listened to so many different things, but I was also a lot into artists from Guadeloupe, but that had that international like aspect, like Kassa Gustave, of course, and Jean-Michel Rotin. I was a fan of Jean-Michel Rotin. I'm still a fan of Jean-Michel Rotin.
You introduced me to him, and I legit flipped.
He's crazy. He was our Michael Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
Right on.
So like it was all these different influences and all these artists like Whitney Houston, like Mariah Carey, like all these people. I would listen to them, and I remember I would sing with my neighbors. I had like a few neighbors from my age, and they were my best friends, and we would like go. Either I would go to their place or they would come to mine, and we would like spend the afternoon like screaming in our rooms. And I'm so grateful for the patience of all the neighbors and all the parents.
That's love.
If you're looking at this, thank you, bless you.
Your patience molded this. You know what I'm saying? Like.
and that was that. Like I remember, some of the music, my father was like, what is this? What are you listening to? But like, even when I was into like Wu-Tang and stuff like that,
oh my God, Lord. You played Wu-Tang in front of your dad?
I played all kinds of stuff.
Okay, because clearly he did not speak English.
No.
Clearly.
No. But me neither. If you knew, oh my God.
I'll tell y'all right now. Because me, if I played Wu-Tang in front of my parents, yeah, you would still see the bruise. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep feeding you. And yeah.
Oh yeah, I would listen to all kind of stuff at home.
That's
for
dope.
real. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man, oh man. So like, so when you listened to it, and then you were singing with your girls, and and flexing that muscle. When was that moment that it clicked for you that it's not just like, oh, it's in the family, or oh, I'm good at this, but kind of like, when was your Neo moment of like, I know Kung Fu? You know what I'm saying? Like, when was your like, I can do this? You know what I mean? I am the artist. I am. Like, did you have a déclic? Did you have an aha moment? Or was it like just something that kind of?
But it wasn't. It was kind of like it happened because of music at school, like
Right.
everybody does like the flûte à bec and stuff like that, and we were like also doing the flûte à bec au collège.
The recorder, ladies and gentlemen. Flûte à bec is the recorder.
Thank you. And then we had that exercise that we had to do, and we had to improvise over a theme that was given to us. And I kind of was like the only one who took the assignment really seriously.
She's like, I'm going to pimp the shit out of this recorder, man.
But I was interested. I was like excited about it, and I thought it would be like the case for everybody in the class, but no. And so like the teacher was like, okay, who made the assignment? Like who can show us the assignment? And I was like, yeah, can I go? And so I did the theme, and then I improvised on it on the recorder. And then after I finished, people were like, oh yeah, that was cool, great. But the teacher was like, wait, did you hear that? And the teacher was the one like really flipping, and he was like, did you hear that? And so it kind of like really, I don't know, it inspired the rest of the class to be like really excited about.
Okay,
about
so
the
he
moment.
primed the class.
He primed the class because the
dope.
class was like, oh yeah, that was cool, but like we're young,
cool,
we're like,
too cool.
yeah, it's a recorder.
It's a recorder.
It's okay. But then the teacher was like, no, like can anybody else show me the assignment? And everybody was like, no.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the teacher was really excited about that, and he was like, wow, he really gave me the confidence that I needed. And I went back home and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I got this. I got this.
I think I like this, and I was really happy to see that it was doing something to the people who would listen, but I already knew what it was doing to me.
Wow.
And you know, like to sing or to play, it always made me feel better. Like even if I was like in a good mood or a bad mood, it was always like improving my overall state, you know,
Wow, well said.
after I played or sang. And the fact that I saw that it could affect other people too, that's when I was like, okay, that's what I want to do in my life. And I was a teenager at the time.
That's beautiful, man. Oh, dude, like that, and those teachers, man. It's just like
Teachers are so important.
They're so important. Just that
So
small
important.
little moment, you know, how it can just be like such a spark, you know, like. I'm sorry. The only thing I have in my head is the movie Soul. I just have the movie Soul when the little girl got up with the trombone and started going on, and then like Jamie Foxx like, "Did you see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's expression. It's improvisation from the soul." Like, it's like, that was your soul moment. Oh my God, that was your soul moment. That's yeah. Shout out that. I'm so happy that movie won an Oscar. That was really
Shout
cool,
out
man.
to my music teacher.
Yeah, man. To all music teachers, Jim Irwin, man. Thank you so much, man. Yo, so fast forward, you moved to Montreal. Actually, before Montreal, Montreal was not your first destination. First destinations yet. So, can you talk to us about like that moment? Whether the environmental or the weather clash, the cultural shock of whatnot, of arriving in this small town outside of Montreal to begin your adult life and your training in music. Talk to me about that. What was that?
Wow.
Man.
Oh my God, it was crazy. For real, I came to Montreal when I was 15 on vacation with my family. It was in the summer. There were all these festivals, and you know, like I was like, this city is bumping.
That's
like,
how they get you.
You know,
that's how they get you.
It was so amazing, and to see all of these people from different cultures, and you know, like all this beauty all around, and the diversity, and it was so beautiful to see, and like just the vibe overall in the summer, people like playing frisbee outside. I was like, what is this place? This is amazing.
Frisbee.
I was like, this is wow, this is out of this world. So I vowed to myself that I would come here to study. But then in Montreal, because my papers took so much time to come out, I missed the fall session, and University of Montreal wasn't taking anybody in the winter, but Sherbrooke was. So I was able to go to Sherbrooke to start my student years. Yeah, my bachelor. And I didn't know anybody in Canada. And I was the only one of the family. Like everybody would go to France, you know, to study. And I was the only one. I was like, I wanted to go to New York, but then New York was way too expensive, and I didn't speak English at the time. So my family was like, that's cute. But no. So I was like, what about Canada? It's like close to New York. I would still be able to go, but then it's like French too, and you know, and they were like, yeah, that we can consider. So my family was very supportive about that too, and I'm so grateful about that. Thank you. And so they were like, okay, we're gonna help you, we're gonna push you to go to Canada. So I went there, but I didn't know anybody, and nobody from my family went with me. They were like, you on your own.
You're on your own,
like,
girl.
Go ahead, like go full. And I was like really like strong-headed.
Yes, headstrong, yeah.
Headstrong. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go by myself. There's no problem. And then my grandmother was like, oh, please, oh my God, can somebody go with her? And like, nobody could. And she met a woman that came on vacation to Guadeloupe and stayed at her house because she had like some des gîtes. I don't know how you say that.
Oh, I forget. Oh my God. Oh, there you go
like,
with
is it
your
bed
good
and
French words
breakfast?
again.
Is it
There
like,
you go
I
with
don't
your
know.
good French words.
Yeah.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah, is it that? Okay.
Shout out, Mario.
So yeah, she had like a bed and breakfast at the time, and so this Canadian woman went there, and my grandmother like instantly connected with her, and she was like, you know what, my little girl is going to study in Canada, and she doesn't know anybody, and her father is like, yeah, girl, fly, but me, I'm very worried. Would you keep an eye on her and everything? So she was the one who came at the airport to,
You're
yeah, I'm
kidding.
telling you.
Oh, wow.
She was the one, she was there at the airport. I was supposed to recognize her with a book. When I arrived, she had a book, and then I knew about the book, and I would see like the person who had the book. That's the person I'm going
Hold up,
with.
time out. I'm like, what kind of like adventure book Gulliver's Travel? Like,
It
can't she hold up a
was-
sign saying Malika Tirolien like every other limousine driver
No.
at the airport? C'est quoi même?
No. It was like
be
a movie.
the woman with the golden lock in her hair and a 7-page chapter of Harry. That's how you know she is your Canadian caretaker.
Exactly. That was exactly that. That was an adventure. That was an adventure. And then like everybody went to France before. So even like in terms of coats and
my
material for the
God,
cold,
yeah.
like I had like that little coat, for what is like a rainy day in Canada.
Yeah, just your London,
Not for the winter.
your London Paris, your little Guadeloupe, London
Exactly.
Paris. You
So
said
I had that little thing, and then I saw her with the book, and she was like, "Oh, hi, I'm here to pick you up," and and she looked at me with my little coat, and she was like, "Okay, so you're gonna stay right there, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna park right in front of the door to get out of the airport, okay? But wait inside." And I was like, "No, I can come with you," and then she was like, "No, you stay inside," and I was like, What is it all about?
Little did she know that at this point, Malika Tirolien was about to meet the polar Arctic.
Oh my God. And you know that movie Rasta Rocket?
Cool Runnings, y'all.
Exactly.
Cool Runnings.
That was exactly the scene. That was the scene. I was like, what's up with her? I can go with her. What's up with this? And then she came back. She parked in the front, and I just went out the doors, and just the little seconds out to get in the car, I was like, wow. Okay, I understand now. It was like the movie scene. It was like that. And I didn't realize it, but it was like a 50 degrees difference from Guadeloupe, because I arrived in December.
Yeah.
So it was
that's 30. That's 30 to
crazy.
minus 20. Like,
Yes, it was minus 20 and it was 30 something
right.
in Guadeloupe. So it was crazy.
Man,
crazy.
That's a shock. That must have been a shock. Yo. Wow. So you were in Sherbrooke. You got, thank you so much for that story, because that really paints the picture of like that leap of faith that, you know what I'm saying, that artists take, the support that you got from your family.
Yes.
So you're in Sherbrooke, and like, talk to me about like getting your chops. Like, Malika, like, I don't start blushing. Let me just state some facts. Let me just state facts. Like, vocally speaking, like, you got singers, but you are a vocalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
thank you, bro.
And like, come on, I don't think you have a limitation. And,
oh my God.
And then there's the piano, and then there's like the mind and the composition and the arrangement skills, like what you do for vocal arrangements and stuff like that. Can you talk to people about how you got those skills? Because yes, there is something that is innate, like God-given. It's a gift. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that's a gift, but motherfuckers be working for that shit. Motherfuckers put hours into their craft. Like, they closed the door and then, came out, I know Kung Fu. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. And I feel like you really did that as well too. And you are a mix of innate gift with extreme work ethic. So talk to me about like your experience of like how'd you get your chops? How'd you get good? How you get so good? How you become a badass, girl?
Yes,
Like,
oh my God!
on.
First of all, I would like to give a big shout out to Natalie. Natalie is the one who came to get me at the airport.
Natalie, thank you so
Natalie,
much,
I love you so much,
girl. Because if it wasn't for you, this girl would have been an icicle
You
in
know,
Sherbrooke, and we
you
never would
know.
have known. It would have been a little Rasta rocket. Just, you know what I'm saying?
No, she
Thank
took her
you.
time. I stayed a few days with her in Montreal. She showed me Montreal around. She helped me like buy my first
Oh,
stuff,
damn.
like for my first room, and
Good
like
Lord.
to start my days as an adult.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she was the one there for me. She was like kind of a mother to
Right.
me. Arriving to Canada, and I feel like it's really important.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so glad you're taking the time to really
No,
shout that out.
seriously,
That's the
this
story.
this is important to me.
Beautiful.
And I arrived in Sherbrooke, and I have to say that the first thing is I was very late in academically. I was very, very late because in Canada they have high school, and then they go to cégep, and then they go to the university. So there's that cégep period where they get to really get a first glimpse at their, like at the thing that they want to do, And in Guadeloupe, which is like really imitating the French academical,
Right.
structure, it's high school and directly you go to the university.
Right. The cégep.
So musically, when I'm arriving, I'm younger than the other students.
Ooh, okay.
Because cégep, they have the cégep, and then they arrived at I think 20 for the university.
That's
and
true.
I arrived at 18. And so the period that they have in cégep, where they get to have a glimpse of the skills they're
Yeah.
polishing, I didn't get that. And I arrived to study jazz in Sherbrooke in the winter. So that means there's a whole first semester that I didn't get.
Okay.
So everybody is as cégep and that first semester in the fall. So I'm arriving and I don't understand anything. and I never studied jazz before. I just went to study jazz because there was no R&B or soul school, and so I chose jazz because it's coming from jazz,
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm gonna go to the roots, but I have no, besides like having heard it, like with my father, but I never really been into jazz, So I arrived there and they're talking to me with the Quebecois accent too. I had like so many informations, coming at the same time. And then so it was hard for me with the accent first, and then with all the information coming that I missed, and it was just a continuation of this. So I had to really, be into my bubble and work
Right.
and work and and get that lateness
Yeah.
out of the way.
Get the lateness out for real. Yeah, I had to catch up for sure.
Yeah, I had to catch up. I had
Wow.
to catch up. So that really was the moment that I feel I really worked the hardest. It was arriving in Sherbrooke, and for that first session in the winter, where I really had to read a lot of things and understand a lot of things very fast. And I think that was a good moment because Sherbrooke was perfect for that, because there's no distraction. It's like it's a perfect
That's for damn
student
sure.
city.
Sorry,
Like,
my bad. I was a little too honest. I was a little too my fault.
so I would wake up, I would go and I would practice, and I would read, and I was so passionate about it. I didn't know, but I fell in love with jazz at that time, reading about it, listening to it, and having to really catch up on my theory and solfege and all the things that I didn't try before, And I fell like in love with jazz at that moment, and I think that it's really important when you're passionate about something, it makes it easier to get obsessed with it.
Right.
And I feel that moment was really a big moment for me, like in terms of structure, practice, being really disciplined.
Right.
That was, yeah, my time in Sherbrooke was really something special.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you want to go to the big city, and it's true. And
Yeah.
there's multiple different ways of doing this. Sometimes you want to go to the big city, the big place, and be in the center of things, and that definitely has its value. And
Yes.
if that's your situation, make the best out of that. But there's also the thing of, going to this small school, going someplace out of town or whatever. And even if it's not for school, the way that people, like go rent a chalet up north, you know what I'm saying, for a few hours and just like immerse yourself into that world.
Yes.
What you do in that space for 6 hours would take 12 hours in the big city just because there's not the distractions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I can really understand now. And it's funny, like I know, like I said, but when you paint it in that picture, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. And in that time, that's when you fell in love with jazz.
Yes.
And in that time, the thing, and what it is to, oh my God, I'm not from this place. I'm not from this country. I have to catch up. You know what I'm saying? So, being like the story of the immigrant too, which I find is a very, very important story. I mean, here in Montreal, it's just like we're 50% either immigrant or descendant from immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So that story is super valid. As musicians, sometimes, we move to that big city. Sometimes we talk about Montreal and, the things that we don't have and whatnot and things like that. But the person who lives in Omaha, Nebraska has similar things to them. They're trying to get to LA. They're trying to get to that thing. But you know what? That motherfucker became really good while he was at Omaha, Nebraska before moving to LA because there was nothing to do in Omaha, Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? So and that's that beauty. So it's cool for you to paint that picture and see because you're disciplined, sweetie. Like, I mean, when I see you get into it, I'm just like,
oh my God,
I'm a free spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like I get visions and I'm like, oh, the music. And I see it in his manner. She's like, bitch, work. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not right. You know what I mean? And like, I do owe a part of my musical growth to her because when we got together, like she opened my ear. You know what I mean? Like I had an ear, you know what I'm saying? And it was mad symmetrical and shit. I was a 3/5, soul, R&B, new jack swing, all that type of stuff. And she was like, yo, shawty, like in a sentimental mood. I remember that's one of the first things you did. And it opened my shit. I was trying to get one of your harmonies for your songs and I was singing back for you. And then I was like, I can't get it. And I was mad because I was just like, this is the first time that in my I was always the badass motherfucker, And I get in front of this woman and she's just like, I can't get it. And I'm like, she was like, you don't know that song in a sentimental mood? It's in a sentimental mood. It's the same, like, in a sentimental mood. And I was like, oh, like that. She touched my third eye, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, okay, all right, nines, like sharp 11s, flat 7s, all these things started coming into the fold with you, and that's dope. So
bless.
I want to use that amazing segue to talk about when we met. And just, that was a moment.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this.
Oh my God.
Like I want to make a movie about the scene, Malika. Like,
oh my God. This was epic.
It was an epic, okay.
It was an epic moment.
So I'm going to tell a bit my side.
Okay.
And then I want you to give a bit of like how you felt and your perspective and just how you absorb that experience. Malika and I met on the platform, what is known now to be about 2 decades worth of the largest musical collective in Canada called the Community Vibe Collective. And we, like I said, when we stand on the shoulders of giants, those experiences with community was the perfect dojo for us to sharpen our steel and to become the artist that we are today. And without an environment like that, we would not be here, I think. I don't think I'd still be in the city. I don't think I'd still, you know what I'm saying?
Agree.
Like, so it's really important to state that. So I came into community like after like a year, and it was in this place, Sablo Cafe, really small cafe in Little Italy. And it was every Tuesday night. That's when we had the jams. But on Monday nights, we had this powwow in the basement. And I swear to God, like when I look at pictures of that shit, you know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of like secret meetings that the Black Panther Party used to have, like in the basements in Oakland and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would be like, yes, Roots, you know, like, how are you gonna the system? Nah, man, you know, what are you gonna write about? No, we need to tell a story. We need to talk about something. We need to touch the people. We can't just be here for commercial and rah 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 and this. And it was like meeting of the minds, and just that formed a lot of just, you know, our purposes and our intentions. And community was kind of an open mic, you know, where new artists would come in, and MCs, singers, poets, dancers, all that type of stuff. And one night, we all sitting down. And then all I know is I was downstairs, and I just hear upstairs, like, and I'm just hearing like things stomping from upstairs. I'm like, the hell is going on? Like, I'm like, wagwan. And then come downstairs, and I just see this chocolate thing just come into the thing, you know what I mean, the basement. And it's like, hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. Hi. And I was like, who is this person? We're not. And then I don't know what took us, because usually, you know, we're best, I don't know, but that day,
Everybody was there.
Everybody was there too. And then it
there.
felt like some type of like, oh yeah, well, you talented? Well, show us what you can do then. and usually it was not like that, but that day I had a little bit of that vibe. It was just like, well, Shimon,
so stressful.
well, bring it. I was like, what is this, Death Row Records? Like, who we Suge Knight? Just be like, yo, get your hot 16. If you ain't hot, we gonna beat your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it felt like that. It so felt like that.
Hella intimidating. I can only imagine. And so I was like, who's this chick? Let's see what's going on. And it was summertime, right?
It was Body and Soul.
It was Body and Soul.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because Stasia sometimes says something to hi, Stasia. And you know what I mean? And we always get confused with the song or whatever. And Shawty opened her mouth and, whoo, child. Like, I was like, hello, excuse me, what? Like, the whole room everybody just sit up. Everybody was just, whoa. Just on cue. And I knew, and real talk, not to be corny or whatever, but I knew at that moment. I was like, yep, I'm going to work with her. I'm like, she's going to be one of my greatest musical partners. This is what I've been waiting for.
Wow.
This is what I've been waiting for. So that's how I took that moment.
God.
And that's how we met. And I swear if I'm going to make a movie about this, or if it's not an animated scene, but that's just, how was that for you?
That's crazy.
What's your perspective on that meeting?
I just finished university.
True.
I graduated from Université de Montreal because I transferred from Sherbrooke, because Montreal was always the goal, but I started in Sherbrooke, and it was a blessing because it like permit me to really get caught up with what was waiting for me in Montreal. And so I finished really, and I was tired. I was exhausted. On my last session, I had like 18 credits.
Damn.
And it took everything. And I was like in 7 bands out of school. So I had like gigs, and I was like full of like, I had, my schedule was just
7
crazy.
bands? What the fuck?
It was crazy.
Wow.
And like, it was like a lot of corporate bands and blah, blah, blah. And it was crazy. It was just a lot, and I was in a bad relationship too, like like not bad but intense and
sure.
really crazy. And it was just too much. And when I finished, I managed to finish, graduate, finish all the things, and then I just quit all the bands. I was in. I was like,
all the bands.
I quit everything.
I'm out, bitch.
I quit. I finished, I had my diploma. I went to France on vacation. I saw my family. I saw my friends, my best friends. I came back, recharged and everything. And I was like ready, to start the real world, as a musician. But then in September, everybody had something to do. Everybody was either still at school or had already their stuff together. And I was alone in my place doing nothing. And so I kind of was very depressed. And I would be in my sweatpants like every day. I would sleep like 12 hours a day. Like it was crazy. And And my ex-boyfriend went to that night and he was like, oh my God, you're gonna love it. Like, come on, let's go. Like, it's gonna help you get out of the house and everything. And I was like, I don't want to go. And he had to really, like,
Pull you out of bed and
pull
drag
me
you.
out of
Yeah.
bed. And I remember I went in my sweatpants. I was like, so unimpressed. And then I got to the place at Sablo Cafe, and then the place was full of black people and people that looked like me, and I was always the only black person, like, through all my school, at the Université de Montreal, or even in Sherbrooke, or, like, I was always the one black person, or maybe the one of the two. Like, it was always like that,
Tell it.
and it was okay because I was so I found, like, to get into another culture was so rich
For sure.
and opening, and beautiful. But at the same time, I forgot that I would miss what it was to feel at home, And when I got to Sablo Cafe, that's how I felt, and just with the people, and then the band wasn't on yet, and it's instantly I was like, oh wow, so that exists in Montreal. This is cool. And then the band came, and I saw Jason and you and Odessa and what was her name?
Josephine?
Josephine. Oh my God, Josephine was
Josephine
like
Watson.
incredible.
Josephine Watson.
And I don't know, it's the most excited I felt in a long time. I was very depressed, and I went from depressed to, like, the highest, like, energy possible, and I was like, this is in Montreal. This exists in Montreal. Oh my God, I've been looking for this. And I was so happy. And I was like, I remember I was talking to Uli.
Yo!
Okay.
Uli Matakan Wai!
Yo, Uli.
Oh my God.
And Uli was like, I was like,
Family.
okay, how do I get in this? Like, I want to be into this. I how? And she was like, okay, calm down. And she was like, you gotta talk to the drummer. He's like the founder of the collective. So I was like, I went to talk with him right away, and he was like, yeah, we have, like, something on Mondays. Come on Monday, and prepare a little something, and then we'll listen to it, and if we like it, you can come with us and play with us on Tuesdays. And I was like, okay. So I prepared, and I came to the Monday thing, and I was a little late, because I was waiting for my friends to come with me, and they were late, and blah blah blah, etc. And then we arrived, and all these people, like, it felt like such a crazy, intimidating moment, because everybody was like, it felt like the audition of my life, And I was so stressed, but I wanted in so badly, and I just went in, and to see the reaction, and to see, like, how you guys open your arms after that to me, yeah, it's like, it still feels like one of the best moments, and I felt it. I felt like it was where I was supposed to be. I felt like it was my crew. This was the people I was supposed to be with in Montreal, and this was the people I was waiting for, and yeah, I felt it right away, and I learned so much. Like, that there was so much to learn through that collective, and it fed me so much, and I'm so grateful for that, and I salute everybody from the collective.
Salute, man. Salute,
for
salute,
real,
man. We
for
put in
real.
some work, for real, man.
And yeah, and from that collective, like, some of my best friends in the world, until, like, to this day, are coming from that collective. So
Oh, dude,
I'm very grateful for
best
that.
friends, marriages,
Yo.
babies. Like, I mean,
like-
people done hooked up. I mean, come on, man. And, anyway, so, yo. All right. I'm starting to realize that, like, your story and your career is expensive. I'm going to have to press fast forward a little bit, because we need to get to, like, what you're doing today. Like, we've been reminiscing for a while now.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to, like, kind of, wrap up and do a little resume about your career within the last 5 to 7 years. About community.
Mm-hmm.
after Community, you created a dope project with Mark Haynes, Jason Parker, and shout out to Jordan Peters. It's called Ground Food. And y'all did an album, and that shook the city. Because it was like, yo, this is like, hey, this is, you know, kind of jazz soul, dope record on a high level. Like, we don't have this like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on that type of tip. And you also did Cirque du Soleil, La Nuba, right? But those experiences led you to meet somebody who I think was maybe just as important as Community was. And he is the founder of Snarky Puppy, the founder of Boucanté, and this man's name is Michael League, great bass player and producer. I don't even know where to start because even as I'm saying this, I'm kind of like, man, like looking back on the experiences, because I'll never forget like when you kind of got the call and you going and recording what is now looked upon as being a groundbreaking album, which is Snarky Puppy's Family Dinner Volume 1. When we look back on that album, like that opened the door for so much, for so much. It showed that, you know, talent and togetherness can trump, you know, you don't need to have like the labels and all these things and know people and whatever. Like that was a win for the small guy. That was a win for, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to see you go, man, like that was just such a victory for our crew, for the city. And man, so can you talk to me about like meeting Michael League and that experience of going and recording like Family Dinner Volume 1? Because you guys like went to Roanoke in Virginia, right? And recorded that for a span of days. So talk to me about entering that world, you know, and what was that? What was that like?
Oh my God. So, yeah, as you said, I was a part of Ground Food, which was a band that I think it was Jason's idea. Again, Jason is always like full of all these amazing ideas.
And
he's always like
always great project names.
He's like an artist and a great thinker, you know, like and so like he put that band together, and it was really, the music was really so inspiring. I love that band very much, but unfortunately, it was more time and like the timing of everybody, and well, you know, like and the other struggles from any bands, you know.
Band, yeah, exactly.
But this band, we opened for Snarky Puppy at Club Lambi.
Right.
I remember that, and it's from that moment, you know, like Snarky Puppy was they just finished their sound check, and we were doing ours because, you know, the person who opens that's the last, you know, sound check, and they were leaving, and we started our sound check, and they came back and they were listening to, you know, to our sound check, and then Michael was like, you are you interested to play with us? And I was like, yeah, right. Of course. But I was like, yeah, he's just saying just that talking. To be nice, you know. Yeah, I know, like I was like, yeah, anytime. And he really called me. And that blew my mind. And he was like, no, I'm serious. Like, we're inviting you to come play with us in New York. And I went there, and it was like crazy. And I was such a fan already because Snarky Puppy is one of these bands. It was like a slap in the face, you know, the first time I heard it. A bitch slap.
Like that shit made us think about our career. Like,
exactly.
What is music?
What is music? Do we deserve to be musicians?
Maybe I should take up accounting right quick. I don't know. Maybe just, yeah.
It was that was my experience of Snarky Puppy. So to be asked to play with them, it was such a validating moment for me. Yeah, it's just to be able to sing with such skilled musicians that understand like everything, you know, like not only the skills but also the cultural, you know,
Yeah.
aspects of things.
Oh, yes, they understand that shit too.
You know,
Yeah.
and this, I learned so much at their side also. And then we went to record that album. It was a crazy experience that I will never forget. It's one of the highest, you know, moment to be there while like Leila Hathaway was like splitting her voice in
The
three.
X-Men,
The
the
ex-woman.
ex-woman was splitting her voice,
To be part of that moment in
advancing
history.
human evolution.
Exactly.
Like, on top of getting a Grammy for it.
It was, and ended up winning a Grammy. It was crazy, and I'm so grateful for that moment. And I don't know, it just clicked. It just I feel so connected to Michael. You know, like
Yeah.
he's such a he's a brilliant mind,
Truly.
and a very generous person too, very down to earth, and it's a pleasure and an honor always to work with him. And he called me to do Bukante
Yeah.
after that. And Bukante, Bukante is has meant everything to me. Also, it's been like I was, you know, already on the path of exploring more of my identity. I started that with Sur l'avant ensoleillé, where I would like really try to write in Creole, which is something that I wouldn't do before. And I was like, why am I not writing in Creole? You know, I had that moment of like, why? You know, this is me. This is my heritage. I should write in my
Right.
language. And I really gave myself that challenge on that album, Sur l'avant ensoleillé. And he heard that album. He heard Oliasa also. And it was like, and it's especially also Seo.
Yeah.
And Seo is on a family dinner also.
Exactly.
And it was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that flavor because I feel that this is you. You know, this is really
Right.
you. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was always afraid to be myself, and no, to be yourself is where it's at. You know, to be yourself is the most important thing. Like, don't try to imitate anybody. Just be you, like the most you as possible. And you know that's where the art is. You know, and yeah, it really helped me continue to realize that. And so with Bocante, it was like, yeah, I wanted to be like 80% like in Creole. I tried to write some stuff in English, and it was like, no, I really prefer like the Creole vibe, you know.
She's like, we will not speak the language of the colonizer in this project.
Well, I speak French still, you know. But
But that's what's up, though, to put that forward. Like, I think that's just
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing. I never heard you phrase it like that. Like, your language,
yes,
your communication,
yeah,
and to bring that and the story of that language completely matches the story of that project. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It goes with it. It's all falling in line, and yeah, it's I don't know. This project is so dear to my heart, and it's making me grow in so many ways, and I'm very grateful for it. And it's just a continuation of our collaboration, and then we went to Higher, which is the my second album.
Oh, man.
That he co-produced also.
Lord have
Michael.
mercy. And we're going to talk about that.
Oh my
And we're
God.
going to talk about that. and just, I think I would be remiss if I didn't have you on my podcast and we didn't take the time on a proper platform to congratulate you on your Grammy nomination for Bocante's second album with the Metropole Orchestre. Like, dude, this was with the Metropole Orchestre, man. Like, if you guys haven't heard this, it is... Like, I'm still digesting it. I still don't understand everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've discovered something new at every single listen. You know what I mean? Like, and yo, that was huge. That was so huge for all of us to see you in that room with everybody. And, you know, and we don't do this for awards, and we don't do it, but being a Black woman that sings Black music from Montreal, and to understand the obstacles that we face here, you don't understand what you did for us, man. So I have to take this time here to say that. Like, it's, you know, is Grammy the goal? Is, that's not necessarily the goal. It means something. If you're going to get that nom, you're not going to spit on it. But the people in Montreal that are entering those spaces are opening the doors for the come up, especially when it comes to Black music, whatnot. So shout out
Shout
to
out
Dirt
to
Work,
Ketranada.
shout out to Kate Trinata, and shout out to all the people who do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough and all the drama that comes with it, but that's what it's about. That's why we're here at this podcast, to be able to keep these stories and immortalize them, because we can't really rely on media here to do that properly, so we're going to do that for ourselves.
Wow.
So for the entire culture, for everybody that's part of this, our whole scene, community, people who jam out at Cypher, people who were at Jello Bar, people who were at Piano Rouge, people who came by every single Sunday to see Malika at Café Résonance with community jazz and whatnot. That's what it is, because, I say in my record, self-made, we came from the underground. And that was not our choice. We got put in the underground. And but despite the fact that we got shoved to the underground, you grew like a rose from the concrete.
Oh,
So, I just have to take the time to say that.
Thank
So
you
let's give this
so
girl her
much.
flowers when you see her walking in the street. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being a star, whatever, but, it's opening doors for other people.
bless.
So the brand new album, Higher, man.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Like the culmination of Ciel du Soleil, of community experiences, of your debut album, Sur l'Avant Soulier, Snarky Puppy, Volume 1, 2 albums with Bocante, being at the Grammys, and now your solo album, your second solo album comes out, and you want to talk about a bitch slap? Holy shit! We going a little overtime, but we gotta spend some time just on the album right quick, man. For me, I'll go ahead and say this. This is like a podcast that speaks about music, but we kind of have a bit of an R&B lens and soul because we don't have a platform for that in Montreal. Like R&B, the category of R&B does not exist. I say it again. If you can get mad at me all you want, I said it every damn episode.
It's
the
coming.
category of R&B does not exist
It
in
is
Quebec.
coming.
Okay,
It is coming.
It's no, we on the verge, and
Yes.
that's why we here right now. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
I'm just spitting facts. Don't get mad at me. I'm just spitting facts. You know what I mean? And for me, your record achieves the same feeling that some people have when they listen to Shaka Khan.
Oh.
And I know that's a big thing, but, just hear me out. Mama's mama. That's mama, okay?
That's mama.
That's mama, But, like, in terms of being the culmination of the culture, of mastering it in R&B, soul, funk, and jazz. And being a Black woman in the midst of all that, and especially in a place where they try to put you in a box, that you can stand and just be like, I am, and at a high clip. Not just the songwriting, composition, whatever, but the production. It's like at a really high clip, shawty. Like this joint sound, yeah, man. So can you just talk to me about how that album came about? How you feel about it, like now, and what's next, and what you hope to see, what doors you see you want this album to do that maybe is different from a Bocante or a Snarky Puppy or whatever, because this seems to be a little different. This seems to have I don't know how to phrase it, but this, I don't know, man.
That album is totally different from the first one, and that's actually what I wanted. For the first one, I had like music like for 2 albums from like the first album, and I was talking with one of my friends, and he was like put out a double album, and it was in the mix for a moment, and then I was like, no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a series of albums, because I felt like the songs weren't going, like it was going in so many directions, and when you put out yourself, you put yourself out in the world, like you want people to kind of have like an idea, of your direction, and it would have been like way too much. And so I was like, okay, no, I'm going to regroup all the songs that are, into that kind of style. And that's when the idea for the tetralogy came through. So Sur l'Avant Ensoleillé was the roots, like I come from Guadeloupe. I want a lot of Creole. I want some percussions. I want rootsy vibes. I want people to feel where I come from, but at the same time where I live. So I want people to feel like my identity as a multicultural person. So that was what this album was about, and like, of course, like the path, like to stay on the path of love, on the path of light, wherever is thrown at you, So that was the whole thing, and then for the next album, I wanted it to be air,
Right.
and so that's what the whole second album is getting to that other element. So the first element is earth, and the next element is air. So I wanted to combine each album with one element, and Higher came about like that. And some of the songs, like Grow, for example, that wouldn't fit on Sur l'Avant Ensoleillé at the time, was perfect, for Higher, and Don't Come Around also. So there's like 2 or 3 songs that are like really old, but that felt that I had to wait, to put them in the right environment and put them out at the right time. And then some of them were created for that album. Of course, like most of them are new, like I've been written for that, and to fit that theme of air and of transcendental music and spiritual journey, and and it's always like on the continuation of a path toward light, toward love, despite everything, all the stuff happening in the world, and all the turmoil, the internal turmoil in each of us, and I wanted each album to get into that, that line, that thematic line,
right.
and that I explained my vision to Michael. We decided, let's create like a special sound for this album, and that's where the idea of high soul came out, and all of this to really symbolize the air aspect. And so I sent him like all the demos and all the songs that were recorded, and like either on Logic or like from rehearsals with my band. Shout out to my band. Jean-Michel Frédéric, Philippe Lallier, Mark Haynes, you guys are the shit. And and so really it was really important to me to have, like the vision that I wanted for the album, but I wanted Michael's perspective, because I respect like his artistry and his producer's mind, his ideas, and I respect a lot of the thing he does, and I have so much to learn from him too, So we started this together. He chose the musicians from New York. We recorded it at Hybrid Studio, a Hybrid Music Studio.
Shout out to Tariq Khan and Hybrid.
And Nikki.
Okay, in Bushwick, Brooklyn, man. I miss y'all. I'm coming. As soon as this shit is over, I'm coming.
We seriously, we miss y'all.
Oh my God, miss y'all so much. No, for real, because they're one of the people that actually like really encouraged me to do this. You know what I'm saying? So Tariq, man, like we here right now because you put some love into us. So appreciate you.
And so we recorded there with like Charles Haynes, Jason Lindler, and Michael. They were the bass, like the core of the music. And then Frank Locrasto, Philippe Lallier, and Jean-Michel Frédéric went to do overdubs. And I did the scratch vocals, and I recorded the vocals at the Hybrid Studio also. And it was just a crazy experience. It was really cool. I'm really happy with the result of the songs. It's really it's really what I was looking for, you know, and to be able to have been understood and like, you know, like to have that product that is really Michael's mind and my mind like combined and with all these talented musicians, and it's crazy what like a teamwork can do, you know, and I'm very, very proud of this album.
I'm so, cause like I know you, girl, and real talk, and like, you know, you can ask the people that we work with or whatever, like we're demanding, like we have an understanding of what we want, you know, and just you really explain like the relationship between artist, co-producer, artist, producer, and producer, you know, and to hear you being so satisfied and say, I'm happy musically that my producer understood me and was able to realize a vision, because that's what the job of a producer is supposed to be. Know when to step in, know when to realize, and know when to get the fuck out the way. And know what team to assemble. You know what I mean? And that record is just, I feel that synergy. I feel that. And I even feel it because I know the synergy is so dope because you were able to do that shit with older material. Some of those songs, as you said, like, you know, like, you know, either I was there or I put my hand on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
like
thank you so much.
And Dreamin'.
Whew. Okay, first of all, just I've been involved with Malika's 2 solo records, and it's just such an honor. Thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy to be part of your musical village.
Thank you.
It's like for real. And I just gotta say, like, I remember being on Forest Hill in Côte d'Ivoire when we wrote Grow together. And I just want to show you guys before we leave that this is a testament of the song, right? Especially all these artists that are here in Montreal and Quebec and Canada, whatever, that in R&B and only have opportunities to do cover music, because the cover music is a huge thing here. Right music.
Original music.
Almost a decade ago, Malika and I sat Forest Hill in Côte d'Ivoire, broke as hell. Like just getting by and making shit happen. You know what I'm saying? We were just, okay, listen, so what you need, your project, okay, let's write your project, what you need. And we're just getting at it. And then Grow came out, and this is obviously me a while ago, not developed the way I am. So it's funny. I was like, hey, Malika, I have a really funky idea. Here's my bass line. I'm like, yeah, that's so funky, Malika. Yeah, sounds like Carlton, you know, like it's so funky. And then it's like, yo, and then that song just kind of disappeared. I heard you play it live a few times.
We played it, you know, remember we played it at Terre de Blues, and it was in 2008, actually.
Exactly.
And we played it at Terre de Blues on the first time we played at Terre de Blues. It was the first festival like that I did ever, like with my name. Like,
exactly.
The artist, you know,
God,
opening for Still Puss. It was crazy.
So crazy.
And we played that song.
And so we played it. And then to be like, I can just only imagine, this is what I imagine. Let me know if I'm tripping. I just imagine Michael League, like kind of like pressing play on our old thing. And it's fucking Michael League, the bass player, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's listening to my shit from like 2008, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, that's cute. That's nice. That's cute, Freddie. Like, let the professionals take over.
Come on,
and
he was
this
cool.
motherfucker said,
no, it wasn't him.
Oh, okay. Before we go, give me the play-by-play. I need the play-by-play.
It was. I changed this.
Both of y'all. Yo, you pimped that bass line so hard. That used to be so straight.
I was at home and I was
so
like,
straight.
we're gonna change this thing. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but I need like a pre-chorus, and I did a chorus. So you know, we did the whole thing. I rehearsed it with my band, and we brought that demo
to Michael. Got it. And
so
he's like, I got it.
It's From there, it was like, okay.
It was easy. It must have been easy from there. He was like, you gave it to him on a platter.
He was like, okay. So all the sonic approach though, like the synth.
Did you see how we both said
the synth?
The synth.
The way like even the drums,
the miking of the drums,
the miking of the drums,
no
like the
programming,
space. No programming.
jamming. That's all played, yo.
Live musicians, just musicians that are bad asses.
Jesus.
And so like that whole thing, and he slowed it down a little bit.
Exactly.
And it was like more the swing was more intense from the demo.
Right.
But he like, it's like instead of being like swing like I don't know, F, like 16F, you know, on Logic.
Yeah.
It's like
You're such a nerd.
16B.
Wow.
So he was like, it's gonna be, you know, it's still gonna be like a swing, but
Yeah.
but like a little less.
Wow,
You know?
okay, yeah.
And so he wanted that kind
Got
of
it.
feel. But in terms of lines and chords and everything was
Go ahead,
was ready.
girl.
It was ready.
Okay. You learn something new every day. Because I was like, yo, how to take something straight and swing it, and in the arrangement aspect about it and whatnot. And I was just blown away. And just, it's so funny. Like, and that's the thing, you know, you're sitting here and you write music, and then 10 years later you can make like this amazing opus out of it, you know, with a Grammy-nominated artist. That's it. So listen, man, we got to leave, but I need to do this really quick thing with you.
Yeah.
It's a really fun trivia. It's called One Gotta Go. Okay? All right. One gotta go. This is going to be quick. I'm going to give you like just a few. All right. Imagine you are on a stranded island during COVID. Okay? 18 months. You only have like a small hard drive, so you can't take all your music with you. You got to take other things. You can't take all your music with you. So there's a certain choices that you're going to have to make album-wise. I'm going to give you a choice. And one gotta go.
Okay.
Okay, and one gotta go, and I'm gonna see if if I can give you something difficult. You know, that's gonna make me. That's gonna make you. That's gonna make you the. Okay, let's see. All right, and you have to say the one that has to go. Okay, and I'm saying this for myself because I fucked this game up too. But all right, so one gotta go. Earth, Wind and Fire or P-Funk? One gotta go.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth, Wind and Fire gotta go?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you on that. That's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. Like, if you want to talk about, like, imagine if that was comedy.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind and Fire is like Bill Cosby, and P-Funk's like Richard Pryor. You know what I'm saying? Like a little dirtier. You know what I'm saying? That's why we like that. Okay, cool. Let's see. TLC or SWV?
Ooh.
SWV. Why would you? SWV gotta go, or are you choosing?
Gotta go.
SWV gotta go?
SWV gotta go.
Oh, why?
I'm doing TLC.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
As a singer and a vocalist, I am very disappointed in you. I am very, very disappointed in you. The song Weak by SWV alone, musically filling my heart as a composite.
No, like the way Crazy Sexy Cool changed.
It did.
It changed everything. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, nobody is like TLC. TLC shaped like the mind of girls around the world until like Guadeloupe.
No, yeah.
I'm so sorry. We didn't get a lot of black music over there. We had to struggle to find it.
And cultural relevancy is important too.
It's
important.
And
TLC, Claire.
And TLC, yeah, no.
Dude, Left Eye with the condom on her left thing, and we want to talk about like women's ownership of sexuality and all that type of stuff
and the
too.
fact that the way they were dressed and the way they were like, we don't need to exploit our bodies, you know. We don't need to be sexy. We don't need to be doing this and that. We just need to be ourselves, and you know.
That's deep.
And we are like individual being, like she's this and I'm that and she's that and it's okay, and yeah, you know, like
okay.
I'm sorry, TLC all the way.
I'm really glad you did that, because that's what this game is for, you know, because it brings about like, you know, these type of things. But yeah, cultural relevancy, you broke that all the way down. That's for real. For me, I'm just like, yeah, Brian Alexander Morgan, you know what I'm saying? The chords, arranged.
Like musically,
they can sing.
I understand.
Musically, they're so rich.
And also the vocals, I understand. But sometimes, like, you know, some of the music, maybe the vocals are less, you know, developed or anything. But the songs, you know, are like more internal.
And coming from a jazz student that's a virtuoso like yourself, that's real. That's real. Okay, last one. Last one. One gotta go. Kendrick Lamar To Pimp a Butterfly or Kendrick Lamar Damn?
Oh, damn.
Damn, gotta go.
Damn, gotta go.
You ain't have to make it simple.
Oh, no,
You
no,
ain't
that
have
was
to make it
easy. That was
simple.
easy. Damn, gotta go.
Oh wow! I thought
To Pimp a Butterfly
I thought the
is...
Pulitzer had a little bit of
Oh,
weight
no,
for
no, no.
you, a little
Like,
bit.
I love both. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
both albums. But yeah, like To Pimp a Butterfly is a masterpiece to me. It's just like it's gonna be forever.
No
this
argument.
album like is forever.
No argument here. I just had to put your biased, unobjective love for Kendrick Lamar on this podcast.
Kendrick Lamar.
You know what I'm saying? Next time, if you need some vocals, you know what I'm saying? Holla at you, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Yeah.
whenever, like whatever you need, dude, I'm here. I'm here for you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the yin to my yang. This is Malika Tirolien. I'm Fredy V. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Gimme the Check podcast. Stay blessed and highly favored. We out.
Give me the check it out, step it out.